Hello, it's Jez here from nigezza.co.uk, and I'm here with another junk journal video. And this one, it is my Vintage Day journal, where I've used an Artie Mays digital kit plus different other things. And this double page is all Stampin' Up. I got this new stamp set, and it's called Corner Bouquet, and it's got these two lovely corners, and I thought they would look absolutely brilliant as corner pockets, maybe in the corner of a page or on a tag. So I couldn't wait to have a go, and I think they do. I think they look really, really well, really, you know, good on the page. The set is a free set during celebration, so £45 spent and you get this for free. And yeah, I think it's worked out really, really well. I've used other sets as well to complete this page, and I think it complements this Artie Mays printout really, really well. So I will show you how I made this. So I'm going to do the same page in my other journal, so because I'm doing two at the same time. So I've picked out a similar page. I wanted to keep that sort of doily effects. I'm going to use doilies again, and I really love this sort of ledger paper background, although most of it's going to get covered up. But yeah, so it's going to be the opposite, but I think it will still work. So first off, let's make the pocket. So I've got some tea dyed paper. So this is 120 GSM, so a little bit thicker than normal copier paper, and I'm going to cut it down to, I can't remember, I did remember, I just doubted myself, 5 by 5. So I'm going to cut 5 by 5, and then we're going to score at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. So making sure I use my scoring tool and not my cutting tool here. You can use a scoreboard, you could just fold by eye, but a lot of trimmers have a score blade. Well, it's not a blade, it's a bit of plastic. So it's easy to do, but it's also quite easy to just fold over as well. We'll probably use those in a bit. So we just need to fold and burnish all of these. I love that little tea splash. So when you're done, it doesn't matter if maybe some of the edges are still white, because you'll probably ink, or in this case, fold it over so you can't see it. So there we go. I usually print the digitals out on 120 GSM as well. I do have some 140. So what we're going to do is notch out the ends. Now this is going to be the top of the pocket, so I'm just going to cut diagonally across there, and this will be glued down to give the top lip of the pocket a little bit of extra strength, so that it'll cope with the wear and tear of a tag going in and out. So that's all that's for. And then we're going to notch these in so that it's going to be a folded under pocket, so it will be the full 4 inches for sticking on our page. Okay, but we're not going to stick it on just yet, because I want to decorate it first, and it's easier to decorate whilst it's not in the pocket, well, attached to the journal. So I'm going to use that lovely lovely corner die there, not die, stamp even, and I want to stamp. I'm going to open the other one up so I can see it and remind myself. Oh, and it's just fallen, so that wasn't helpful. Maybe I'll just put it over there on my desk. There we go, so I can kind of see to remind myself what I did. So I have got them all mounted, ready. Something dropped to the floor. It's probably something vital that I need in a minute, but I'll have to look for it in a bit. Actually, I'll look for it now because I'll forget. It was vital, it was that, and then I found other bits on the floor below me, so there we go. Right, so I did the bigger one on the pocket. That fit nicely there in that corner. Very nice look. So I'm using Cinnamon Cider, one of our in colours, and it's very, very similar to Vintage Photo, I think, quite similar, and I think it goes really well on a vintage page. So on this one, the other one, I stamped first and then cut, so it's not as close to the corner as this one's obviously going to be. So that is it there in a pocket, and I just think that looks absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to stamp the dragonfly. So there's a sort of a dragonfly there flying, and that's from another gorgeous stamp set that I bought with journals in mind, because that looks lovely on a tag, and the dragonflies are just lovely, and some of the sentiments I think are fabulous, so I use this quite a lot. So with a bit of the scrap paper, I'm going to stamp the dragonfly. I'm going to cut two because I want one for the tag as well, so we'll have one there and one there, like that. And then it comes with a punch that you can punch that out with. I picked up the punch and I can't see it now. I've got so much to use and I can't see it. I didn't actually get it over. So this one cuts a little one as well. It's a double punch. So it punches out this dragonfly, and there's two stars of dragonfly. It also cuts out a little one, and I am going to use the little one as well. So this is a dragonfly with a dark, a sort of filled in body. It does leave a little margin round, so it's like you've fussy cut it, kiss fussy cut, whatever, you know, that leaves a bit of a margin. So that's quite cool, quite like that. But there is a second one there where the body's open, so you can colour it, and they've got slightly different designs on their wings, but they're cool. So that was stuck on there, and that one was sort of stuck on there, which I thought was very good. But I did a little bit of inking on it. On this page there was some pink in the background, so I picked the pink up. So I'm going to just check the colours on the paper and see what I want to pick out. So we've got a little bit more, sort of looking at that colour there, it's not really pinky, and we've got some green, so I might, although there is a bit of pink in there, I might continue with the little pinky because yeah, I think it will look all right. So I haven't got my pink ink, so I've got some Blushing Bride, so I'll just get the corresponding sponge, and I'll just sponge over it. The colour I want, just to make it stand out a little bit. I could have stamped it directly on, but I quite like it like this. I'm just going to sponge over. I just want it really subtle. Building it up slowly because you can add, but you can't take it away. So there, that just gives it a little bit of extra colour there. And then I'm going to go over this one as well. So that's there. And then I'm going to just sort of ink the edges, really, because that's what we do when junk journaling, is we ink edges. So I'm going to use my cinnamon cider to go around the edge. There we are. And then I sort of added a few other bits to the background to sort of grunge it up a bit more. Added my favourite script. So if I find that, there we are. You'd have seen me use this before, and that's from this set here. Love that script. It is fabulous, and I'm going to do it quite dark. I'm going to do it in early espresso. I'm going to stamp off a bit, so I'm going to bring in this there, and I'm going to stamp off, and then just do bits so it's not completely over it. And then I did a little bit on top like that. So that looks a little better. And then I decided I wanted to do a little bit of stenciling as well. So I got the mask and just do a little bit of this. I'm going to use a bit of soft suede for this. So I've got quite a lot of different browns going on in here. So just put a little bit, so it's got a little bit of extra interest going on. And I'll probably do some on the page as well. I think I used a doily for the last one. So that's, I think that's nicely grunged. And then I added some ribbon, lace, and this lovely stamp here. So yes, if you follow me, you'll have seen me use that stamp before. I'm gonna stamp the sentiment first, which I did in cinnamon cider, and I went for, I'm going to stick with the same sentiment, which was Know You Are Loved. I thought that was lovely. So going to stamp that on a bit. I'm not sure if that's big enough. Let me check with my punch, because if it will go in the punch, it's big enough. It is a bit of a tight fit. I've got some more paper here. Yeah, that's what I used before. Yeah, so we'll do it on that. So I'm going to do the sentiment first, because the postage stamp is photopolymer, so I can see through it. So I don't have to worry about that one. So, whereas I can't see through that one. Go this way. And then I've got the You Are an Inspiration. That was from the first one. I did this in a different colour, but we'll do it in this one just because. There we go. They're quite light. I'm just wondering. I'm going to turn them over and I'm going to do them a different colour, because I'm going to do some inking and things on top. So I'm going to do them in soft suede. Actually. I normally clean them, but I just stamp them out. There we go. That's a bit better. Yep, like that. And then I'm going to do the stamp outside in my early espresso, which is mounted in here somewhere. So this is from another new stamp set that's also free. So this is from this one. So if you get lots of friends together and do an order together and you spend £275, you get this free. It's great. Lots of things in there. I mainly got it purely for this stamp. I do that often. I buy a stamp set because I like one particular stamp. So what I like is because I love this. I love making my postage stamps. And this gives us an outline. How absolutely cool is that? And then, of course, it cuts it out. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Did I tell you I liked it? How brilliant. I want 3. I've just realised I want 3. So I want another one of those for... So that's the tag and pocket front, and now this is for the other side. Always make, if I'm doing 2 the same, it's excellent because I don't have to think about it. It's already done. I just have to look at what I've done before. Makes it a bit quicker. Whereas if I'd filmed this with me sorting it all out, gosh, we'd be here all day. This is probably going to be quite long as it is. Right, put them all over there to clean. I might stop it in a minute and give all of my stamps a clean. Now, I did do a little bit of stamping on these. So I've got this stamp here with the things flying about, and they looked quite good in the cinnamon cider in the background. So stamp off so it's not so dark and stamp them over. So we're sort of carrying on that sort of, although these don't look, I think these are more butterflies and dragonflies, just so you've got a little bit of subtleness on there. And I might even put a bit of script going over. I have got some postmarks that I did think about putting on, but that was effort to go and get them. I think that'll work quite nicely on there. There we go. So that was the bonus of not having cleaned this off yet. One of the drawbacks is I've now got ink on my fingers. So that's that bit done, and then we can bring the stamp in and we can punch them out. So again, this is a Stampin' Up punch, and I just love it. And it was like junk. I love it that I've got, you know, so many Stampin' Up products that work really well in my in my hobby. Stampin' Up's my job. Junk journal's my hobby. I love it. Not that Stampin' Up particularly feels like work, but it doesn't. Really lucky. There, so that's my stamps done. So what I did on this was I used some ribbon and lace to decorate it. So I've got some cinnamon cider ribbon, and that's the thing I love about Stampin' Up. All the colours match. How gorgeous is that? I mean, you buy a digital kit, don't you? So it all coordinates and matches. And I like the fact that I can do it with all my inks, cardstock and accessories. Oh. Didn't cut that very well. Good job it's a junk journal and it's all raggedy and it don't really matter. So I put that across there like that and stuck the stamp on. Got that to stick on and that to stick on. And then I put a bit of lace. So this is a beautiful lace trim, which I stuck across the top. So nice scalloped. So cut it off at the scallop to finish the edge of that off. And then I put a little bow, and I did it with some linen thread, but for this one I'm going to use a little bit of the pink. So I've got the pink baker's twine that matches. So I think I'm going to do a bit of this in the bow, but I'm going to grunge it up a tad, run it through that. And that gives us slightly grunged. And I might grunge up this lace just a little bit, just so it doesn't look all new. Might put some pink on it. And then that will go across there. And then I just need to tie the bow. And then that will go in there. And that's the pocket. Okay, so I'm going to get them all stuck down. So that's the pocket all done. I did change the Fabutac. I forgot when that will dry, but I'd forgotten that Tombow, maybe not the best for sticking ribbon on. So that is to go on that page there. And I think that will look really nice there. And I might do a little bit of sort of stamping around here with this script to sort of tie it in. So I'm just gonna, I'm not bothered that it's not full impressions. Matter of fact, I like it better that it's not. Okay, so just a little bit, and then it kind of all sort of blends in well like that. So that is just going to get glued down these sides here, so we've got the full width of the pocket. So I do the sides first. With a bit of glue. Up to the edge it will lose a bit, and then I'll close that over so they get caught down a little bit on those sides. And then we go over here. Don't want to go too much to the inside edge, so because we don't want it to ooze up that section. And then we just place that in there. Use me mopping up cloth. take any bit off from the side. And that's our pocket. So now we need to do the tag and sort of matching on that side. So let's get the tag done. So there's the tag. So that's what we're going to make. So it is just covered in ordinary tea dyed paper, and I'm using, this is 3.5 inches by 7 inches for this tag. So a nice size tag that will fit beautifully on there. So I'm going to get my ripping ruler and I'm going to just take a bit off of the end. I'm not bothered if it rips a bit, all the better if it does actually. If you wet your paper, it is slightly easier. It doesn't help when you're doing just a little bit on the edge, but that's okay. And then I kind of use this to measure where I want the next bit. So that's going to go along there. I'm going to put that there. We're going to rip down here, and this side is a bit easier to rip than when you're doing the smaller. You don't need a ripping ruler, you could just rip by hand if you wanted to. So then we're just going to take a bit off the bottom and then measure for the top. So I'm just going to lay those together to take the tops off. So I have an old loyalty card that's cut with this that I use, but I can't find it, so I've just been using the tags that I've already made to help me measure. And what I decided to do with this was to have it so that we had the space up there. Just thought we'd try it that way for a change. So take that off and then do this one in exactly the same way, and I can kind of use this now as my template. So one side for the front to decorate, one side for the back for journaling. That's what we're doing. And I keep these bits sometimes. They kind of help when you're making sort of clusters and things. Giving a little bit of something. I made some tags at the weekend, and I made 3 that were this size out of an A4 sheet that were 7 by 3.5. So I had some little thin strips left over, so I made little tiny tags, and so little strips like that, perfect for decorating little tiny tags. So there we go. So I did a load of tea dyeing at the weekend as well. I really enjoy tea dyeing paper. I'm a weirdo. So that fits nicely on there, and then that one fits nicely on the back. I'm not worried that it's not necessarily straight. It's a junk journal. That's what I like. There, I like it that way. So we need to ink around the edges of that. And so we just stick that down. Now what I like to do is use some glue stick to go all over this, because it's quite a large surface and I want to make sure that all the edges are stuck down. So I go all the way over. I then put glue on because I don't trust glue stick. But I put it all over, kind of look in the light to see if I've covered everything. And then clogged it up with glue stick. There we are. Put a bit of that on. Quite a lot of that on there, Jess, actually. You maybe didn't want to put that much on. Right, that's my gluey bit. Move it out the way. Stick that down. And then take my bone folder. Yeah, I did put too much glue on. It's all oozing out. That's why I have a little mop-up cloth to get it off. And that makes it all nice and flat there without any bubbles, which is what I like. So that's why I do that. And so then we'll do the same to the front. I'm going to decorate the front first though before we do that. So I'm going to use the smaller one of the corner stamps. Get my words out. So I'm going to do top and bottom. I'll say this was my vision when I saw these stamp set. I thought, oh yeah, they'd look great on tags, they'd look great on pockets. There we go. I'm not bothered. I haven't it's not fully stamped, but I'm not bothered. It's I kind of like it when it comes out like that, because it kind of adds to the faded sort of vintage sort of look. Put a bit of this on. Yeah. And then we need our dragonfly to go on there, and our stamp. So it's going to have a dragonfly and a stamp on there to sort of match the pocket. We don't need the little one, but I might put it on, or I might use it in the cluster. And we want a little bit of pinkiness on that butterfly, on that dragonfly even. So now all we need to do is do the top bit, and for that I used a little bit of a little scrap of the pink. Here we are. So this is the same pink as the ink. Same pink as the ink. That's funny. So I'm going to get my little guillotine, going to cut 3/4 of an inch down there. And then 1.5 inches and then just fold that in half. Like so. Get rid of them, not bothered it's a little bit battered. Adds to the appeal, in my opinion. So that of course needs a bit of inking. And then I'll take my, thought I had a blending brush here somewhere. Oh, we'll just use this then, just to give it a little bit of colour there. And then that's going to get stuck on the top. So eyeball where the centre is. And then we need my crocodile. So I use the 3/8 of an inch size, and it's already on the, so that it's centre. So that's why I make this 3/4 of an inch that way and 1.5 that way. So we've got 3/4 of an inch square, and then this is set to 1/8 under 1/2 an inch, which is the middle distance there. Can't for life of me think what it is. So I still need that, don't I? And then these little circles, I am just using some stick-on hole reinforcers, which I've inked up, and they just stick over the hole. Just makes it quicker. You can make your own with circle punches, but and I always put them on after I've made the hole, so that, because it's really difficult to measure front and back up. So that it's in the right place. And then we just need, I always like to use an eyelet, and as I've got a big bite, I have got a big bite, as I've got a crocodile, it's easy to do. If you haven't got one, it's not necessary, but I have, so I do. So now a little bit of ribbon. So I'm taking this matching ribbon, side where I want it, feed it through. I do like tying my ribbons like this, very Stampin' Uppy. But I do like it. And then I take another bit of this Blushing Bride twine, tie a bow, take a little bit more. I'm a super faffer with bows, so, and that's that to go in there. I did do a little bit of stenciling, which I might do when I'm stenciling on the other side, but as you can see, that's that bit done in there quite nicely. So all I did then was do a little bit of stenciling on this side and a little bit of a cluster using that, a bit of ribbon behind so it's sort of matched, and I used some little old doilies. So I used one of these that I distressed up. I just tore it in half, distressed it up, and I also used it for a bit of stenciling, which is how it sort of got distressed. So let's keep on to do a little bit, and then it kind of matches that that doily there. So I'm going to use a bit of soft suede, I think. I just stuck them down like so. Let's bring the page back. So you can see how this sort of now sort of matches. And that's it. I have no idea how long we've been. I'll probably speed bits up, but that is my double page spread using some really nice Stampin' Up products, and I think it goes really well. So it's like, look in your stash, look at what you've got to see if it goes with other things, papers that you have, digikits, whatever. So there we go. Hope you like that. Hope you give it a go. Hope you'll revisit your own stash and see what you've got. That's not quite straight. Does it matter? It's a junk journal. So hope you like that. I will put some photos, and there'll be links to these products if you wish to buy anything. There's links to my shop down below, and there'll be links on my blog as well, and I'll list them all so you'll be able to sort of find them easy if you fancy adding some of these to your junk journaling stash. Okay, see you again soon. Bye now.